Martell Holt, his ex-wife, Melody Holt, and the woman who became the most hated name in Huntsville, Arionne Curry, for years. Arionne was painted as the villain, the homewrecker. The other woman who destroyed the perfect power couple? But now, that narrative is starting to crack because Arionne Curry is finally speaking Ain this time. She's not holding back. It all started with love and marriage. Huntsville, a show that promised Black excellence, business, and beautiful relationships. Martell and Melody were the golden couple, the success story, the dream team. But behind that polished image was betrayal, infidelity, and heartbreak. And when the truth came out, Arionne's name was dragged through the mud. She became the internet's favorite target, labeled a side chick, mistress, and most recently, a concubine. Meanwhile, Martell somehow walked away as a man who made mistakes. The double standard was glaring. He was forgiven. She was crucified, but recently, something changed. Arionne snapped. She went live on Instagram, emotional, unfiltered, and done being silent. "I'm tired of being disrespected," she said, her voice trembling with emotion. "Y'all act like I'm not human. Like I didn't have real feelings for that man. I was lied to, manipulated, and used. But somehow I'm the one who has to carry all the shame." Those words hit different. This wasn't the cold, defensive woman people expected. This was someone broken, finally admitting how much she had suffered. The reaction online was explosive. Some called it fake, a desperate grab for attention. But others saw truth in her words. They saw pain. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Sources say Arionne's not just venting anymore. She's in talks with production companies, the kind that build redemption arcs and tell-all specials. The kind that can turn villains into survivors. The deal on the table? Full creative control, a global platform, a massive paycheck. And one condition: total honesty, of course. Martell was furious. According to insiders, he reached out to Arionne, pleading, reminding her of their history and their child. But this time, Arionne wasn't listening. She was done playing by his rules. She even hired a top-tier lawyer, one known for handling messy celebrity cases. And that's when the rumors really started flying. Was she suing Martell? Planning to expose financial secrets? Or just protecting herself before the world heard everything? Meanwhile, Melody Holt, the boss, stayed silent. No shade, no comments. Just business moves and quiet wins. But make no mistake, she was watching. Because Arionne's truth could rewrite everyone's story. Then came the bombshell. A major streaming service greenlit Arionne's tell-all interview. No filters. No producers protecting reputations. Just Arionne, raw and unguarded. She talked about everything: the manipulation, the love, the lies, and the way she was made to feel small. She even apologized to Melody, saying she never wanted to cause so much pain. For the first time, Arionne didn't sound like a villain. She sounded human. When the interview dropped, it broke the internet. #ArionneSpeaks was trending worldwide. Half the people called her brave. The other half called her a liar. Martell fired back with a statement denying it all and threatening legal action. Melody stayed silent, classy as always. And Arionne, she stood her ground. Yes, she got hate. Yes, she got threats. But she also got something she hadn't had in years: a voice, whether she finds redemption or ruins herself in the process. One thing is clear: Arionne Curry is no longer a side character in someone else's story. She's writing her own end this time. The whole world is watching, and as the dust began to settle, the aftermath of Arionne's tell-all interview sent shockwaves through Huntsville and beyond. Everyone had something to say: bloggers, fans. Even former castmates who had long distanced themselves from the chaos suddenly found themselves pulled back into the drama. The streets of social media were on fire. Old clips resurfaced, timelines filled with receipts. And suddenly, everyone was dissecting every word that came out of Arionne's mouth. But here's where it gets even messier. Behind the scenes, Martell was scrambling. Insiders claim he held multiple meetings with his PR team, trying to figure out how to do damage control before the upcoming season of Love and Marriage. Huntsville, He reportedly wanted to issue a truth statement that painted him as misunderstood rather than manipulative. The problem: Arionne's interview had already changed public perception. People weren't buying the polished image anymore. For the first time, Martell looked cornered. Melody, on the other hand, stayed calm through it, almost too calm. Fans noticed her posting motivational quotes, showing off her businesses, and spending time with her kids. To the public, she looked unbothered. But sources close to her said she was paying very close attention. She knew that if Arionne started dropping deeper truths, especially anything that contradicted what had aired on the show, could shift the way fans viewed not just Martell, a tear, but her too. Melody built her brand on resilience and empowerment. But even she understood how one viral revelation could change everything. Meanwhile, Arionne found herself at a strange crossroads. The attention was intoxicating but overwhelming. She had finally reclaimed her voice, but with that came new levels of pressure. Every move she made was now scrutinized. Every post, every story, every word was analyzed for hidden meanings. Some fans begged her to stay strong and keep sharing her truth. Others accused her of milking the scandal for fame. But for Arionne, this wasn't just about headlines. It was about closure. She had spent years being everyone's punching bag. And now she wanted peace. Still, peace doesn't come easy when your story becomes entertainment. Producers began reaching out to her for more opportunities: a documentary, a reality spin-off, even a podcast deal where she could set the record straight week by week. And that's when Arionne had to decide, was she ready to turn her pain into a platform? Or would continuing to tell her story just keep her trapped in the same cycle of drama she was trying to escape? Martell, predictably, wasn't ready to let go. Insiders claim he made several calls to mutual friends, warning them to stay out of it and not align with Arionne publicly. But the control he once had was slipping fast. This time, she wasn't the quiet woman waiting in the shadows. She was the headline. The power dynamic had flipped completely. And if rumors are true, Arionne isn't done yet. Word is, she's sitting on evidence, messages, recordings, even documents that could permanently destroy Martell's carefully crafted image. Whether she plans to use them or not, just the possibility has everyone nervous. Because in reality TV, crits are currency and Arionne finally has all the power. The real question now is, will she use it to rise, or will the weight of it all pull her back down? Because while Martell is fighting for his reputation and Melody is protecting her empire, Arionne stands at the center of it all, finally seen, finally heard, and finally holding the mic. And one thing's for sure, whatever she says next could change everything. Within days of Arionne's tell-all airing, whispers began swirling that a second part was already in production. Apparently, the first interview had only scratched the surface. What aired publicly was carefully edited for length. But there was hours of footage left on the cutting room floor. According to one insider, Arionne held back more than people realize. If she releases the full version, a lot of people in Huntsville are going to have sleepless nights. That single comment was enough to send social media into overdrive. Fans demanded the uncut version, and bloggers started digging for clues. Screenshots, DMs, old live videos, everything was being pulled apart for hidden meaning. And then, almost on cue, Arionne dropped a cryptic Instagram story. "Y'all think I said too much already? I haven't even started." It was short, but it said everything. Martell reportedly lost it. Sources claim he was calling anyone who would listen production. Network execs, even old castmates, trying to find out what Arionne was planning next. He allegedly accused her of clout chasing and trying to destroy his legacy. But behind the scenes, it was clear. He was scared. Because for once, he wasn't controlling the narrative. Meanwhile, Melody's silence started to raise eyebrows. People online speculated that she had to be working on something behind the scenes. Maybe a documentary of her own. Maybe a special episode addressing everything from her perspective. Whatever it was, she wasn't rushing to respond, and that only made her look more powerful. Fans began flooding her comments with love and support. "You already won, sis. Your piece is louder than their chaos." But in private, those close to Melody say she's being strategic. She knows how the media works, and she's letting the noise play out before stepping in with her own moves. Because if Arionne's story continues to grow, it could impact the entire love and marriage. Huntsville Brandon, that's something Melody, as both a cast member and businesswoman, understands better than anyone. Back to Arionne, she's now being approached by major talk shows.